What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, plump, spicy, amazing Nashville hot chicken sausage. That's right, folks, we're making a super spicy Nashville hot chicken link, serving it with some homemade white bread, and of course, some homemade bread and butter pickles. Coming up. This is some chicken. Pat it dry. And what I've got here is some bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. Picked these up at my local H-E-B, and these should work out perfectly for what we're doing today. And that's because today we're knocking out a Nashville hot chicken sausage, because I love a good chicken sausage. I've made several on the channel in the past, and I really don't make them as much as I probably should, because they're super tasty, and they're not nearly as heavy as a beef or a pork sausage. And because chicken packs a little less flavor than duck or beef or pork or something like that, a chicken sausage really lends itself to any flavor profile you're after. But whenever I'm thinking about a chicken sausage and what to make, Nashville hot is always in the back of my mind, and I've never made one before, but it sounds really tasty. A nice juicy poultry sausage, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of snap, a lot of heat. Sounds pretty good to me. First, by taking out the bone, which is super simple to do, very straight bone, just kind of scrape around it. And the best part is, we're gonna be grinding this all up, so you don't really have to be pretty about it. But you do want to be thorough, because you don't want to leave any chunks of cartilage or anything weird in there. But just like that, bone comes out, and I'm not too mad if I leave some meat on there, because I'm gonna make chicken stock out of these bones, so a little extra meat on there. We'll just add some more flavor to my stock. And now we repeat this several times. And you could also use chicken breast if you like, but it's pretty lean, so you're gonna have to add some fat in a different format, whether that's some chicken skin or fat from another animal like beef fat or pork fat or something like that. And it's really tasty. I've done that before, and chicken breast is great for sausage making because it's a little bit more firm, a little less slimy than a chicken thigh, so it grinds up really well. But if you wanna go for a full chicken sausage, I think thighs are a great choice because they're pretty fatty. Because not only is there fat included, but it's also got the skin on there, which is pretty fatty. And these should work out perfectly for a nice juicy sausage. And just like that, got these all deboned, so now I'm gonna go ahead and cube these up a little bit smaller so they fit down our meat grinder a little bit easier and chill down in the freezer a little bit quicker. And just like that, all cubed up and deboned, skin and all, I got 4 pounds of chicken thighs that I'm now gonna park in the freezer for the next 45 minutes to an hour to get nice and cold. Spices for our sausage include some milk powder as our binder, as well as some kosher salt, black pepper, granulated garlic, some paprika, a little bit of brown sugar, and our cayenne. And get that all nice and mixed up. Oh God. And now that our meat is nice and cold, through the old meat grinder we go. I've got the small die on there for a nice fine grind sausage because, there's a lot of skin going through here and I want to make sure that it gets cut up into some nice small pieces, but simply enough, through the meat grinder we go. Beautiful, super quick, gotta love that, and a nice clean grind. Looks like ground chicken, but now in we go with all of our spices and get that all mixed in. Yeah, there's definitely some cayenne in there. And once all our spices are evenly incorporated, in we go with some water. And now we're just gonna get this all mixed in until it's nice and tacky. Looking pretty good to me. Chicken sausages always feel so weird. And on we go with some natural hog casings. These are 28 to 32 or something like that. Same size I usually use. Tie it off, snip the tip, and we case away. Just gonna make some normal sized weens today. Something like that. Give it a twist and repeat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And so on and so forth. And just like that, all cased up, looking nice and plump and absolutely beautiful. So now I'm gonna park these in the fridge for a little bit, let those spices hydrate, let those casings dry out a little bit while we move on to everything else. Let's go ahead and knock out some white bread. Start them going into the stand mixer with some water and some milk, our yeast, and our sugar. And give that a quick little mix. And then in with our bread flour and our dough conditioner. And let that come together. And then in with our salt and some softened butter. And let this knead for about 6 minutes. And once your dough is looking nice and smooth and pulling cleanly away from the sides of the bowl, out it comes. Beautiful smooth ball of dough, but now into a grease bowl this goes to double in size for the next hour or so. And once our dough has doubled in size, out it comes. Boop. And we'll go ahead and start punching all the air out. And once I've got this into a smooth ball, one more time, I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes or so just to relax so we can roll it out and put it into a loaf form. And honestly, this is looking pretty good already, but we do need to pop this into a loaf pan, so I'm gonna just do my best here to kind of make it a little bit longer and a little bit more loaf shaped. Usually I roll this out and kind of fold it all up. We're gonna just try and keep this in tubular form today. Pinching everything shut on the underside, and then into a greased loaf pan we go. Boop. And now I'm gonna cover this back up and let this rise for another probably 30 minutes or until it's kind of poking over the edges a little bit. And after about 30 minutes, this is looking nice and poofy and a little bit lopsided like every other time I've ever made white bread, but I'm fine with that. So now I'm gonna park this in a 350-degree oven for probably about 20 minutes or until it's cooked through and looking nice and golden brown. And just like that, after about 25-30 minutes in the oven, this bread is looking absolutely beautiful, although definitely a little bit wonky. But let's see if we can get this out of here. Oh yeah, beautiful looking loaf of bread, lovely color on that. You know this is done when it reads an internal temperature of about 200 degrees, and as long as we don't look at this side, it's a perfect looking loaf. So now I'm gonna pop this on a wire rack and let it cool down completely. Next up, let's go ahead and knock out some bread and butter pickles. So what I've got here is 1 pound of cucumbers, as well as half of a small yellow onion and 1 small red bell pepper. And I'm gonna get these all mixed up and then go in with some kosher salt. This is gonna season the vegetables while drawing some of the moisture out so they get nice and crunchy. Just gonna get this all mixed in, and over the next hour or so, it's gonna draw out a bunch of moisture and make sure all this veg is full of flavor. So I'm gonna park this in the fridge, and then periodically over the next hour or two, I'm gonna come through and just kind of mix it up a little bit. So after a couple hours in the fridge, I came through and mixed these up every now and then, and they are looking positively damp. And there's a whole bunch of liquid in the bottom here, which we can go ahead and pour out. Oh yeah, that salt definitely did its job. Also, side note, if you ever do this, make sure you label these or cover them up or something, because Nick just came down, saw these in the fridge, thought they looked good and ate one, and it was incredibly salty because, yeah, they're covered in salt. But to take care of that, now I'm gonna rinse these off thoroughly. And once thoroughly rinsed and drained, into a jar they go, along with a couple of bay leaves, garlic, mustard seeds, some black peppercorns, and a couple of cloves, and then in with all the veg. Ah, what a fit. But now we need to go ahead and make ourselves a brine. Starting with some apple cider vinegar, some water, some turmeric, and a whole bunch of sugar. Give that a nice little mix and get this up to a boil. And once up to a boil, over the cucumbers and all the veg we go. Beautiful. Lid goes on, give that a little shaky poo, and let this cool down and pop it in the fridge, and our pickles are done. And with our bread and pickles made, I think it's finally time to get these sausages smoked off. So let's go ahead and fire up the pan. Got the old offset smoker fired up with some post oak wood, and simply enough, on the pit we go. I'm gonna keep them on this wire rack to make sure they stay nice and clean. Beautiful fit, make sure none of these are touching. And I'm gonna cook these pretty low and slow, but not a true cold smoke, so probably keep it around 200, 225 to get some smoky color and flavor on there while drying out the casings and slowly bringing these up to an internal temp of about 150 degrees, which hopefully doesn't take too long. We're about 2 hours into this cook, and these wieners are looking absolutely beautiful. Definitely got some good color on there, feeling nice and plump, and looking absolutely fantastic. I just probed one in the middle there, and it's reading 150 internal. So off the pit these come, and they're gonna go directly into an ice bath to shock the casings and cool these down rapidly. And after chilling in the ice bath for about 10 minutes, out these come. And now we can go ahead and get these all snipped apart. And after giving these a quick little wipe down, because everybody loves a clean weenie, we've got ourselves Sausage Mountain! Looking absolutely beautiful. Although I really wish I made a little bit more sausage, because we need one more to complete the pile. But either way, I'm gonna take a few of these, throw them back on the pit rock at about 275 degrees until they are feeling nice and plumped and cooked to about 170. We'll see how they came out. Beautiful looking bread. So soft, so squishy. And then fresh off the pit, we've got ourselves some beautiful chicken wieners. I mean, just look at these things. They are nice and plump, nice and smoky, and look absolutely perfect and smell really good. And in true Nashville hot chicken style, we got ourselves some white bread, a lovely, nice, plump, spicy wiener, and we'll go down with a couple of bread and butter pickles right on top. And of course, you could go dill. Normally, I'm a dill pickle guy, but with a super spicy sausage, I think the sweetness will definitely help out. But also, let's slice one up. Look at the bind on that. That is perfect. Always difficult with a chicken sausage because it feels so loose going into the casing, but that plumped up perfectly. Everything looks nice and juicy, nice and rendered, and I'm pretty pleased with that. Gotta say, folks, not mad about this spread. A big pile of smoky, spicy sausages with some lovely homemade white bread and some pickles to match. I'm ready to see how this came out. For starters, let's go with the coin. Okay. Ooh. Texture is great, perfectly seasoned with salt and all that. And it's not aggressive with the heat, but that was only one bite and I'm already starting to feel it. But that's also kind of what I was going for. You know, I don't want it to be so spicy that it's not enjoyable, but that's definitely got a good kick to it. And it's also just a very tasty sausage. That's really good. I quite like that level of heat. You know, it's enough to let you know that it's a spicy sausage, but it's not making me run for the toilet or some Pepto-Bismol or something like that. And when the heat builds up, grab yourself a nice sweet pickle and you're good to go. And I bet you, if we put them together, it's a perfect little bite right there. So many good textures, so many good flavors. Evan.
Yes.
Would you like to try a Nashville hot chicken sausage?
I very much would.
You want to do a snappy pop with me?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Just take a big old bite.
Oh, cheers.
Pretty juicy.
It's a good sausage. That's very, very good. That's, first of all, just very well made. Second of all, the chicken flavor is nice and mild, but it's like so present. It's like right there. I love a hot chicken when you can actually taste like the spices in there. And I can taste that in here. I can taste like the cayenne and the chilies and stuff.
I was just saying earlier that I don't like food that's needlessly spicy.
Yeah.
Like I want it to still be good and enjoyable. Like this one is not blowing you away with heat, but you can tell that it's got some kick to it, which is nice. And also for a chicken sausage, looking pretty juicy for no added fat.
Very
you know what
pleasant.
I mean? Little bread and butter pickle, kind of cut the heat a little bit.
I feel like I want ranch with this.
I was thinking about that. A nice cooling sauce. Didn't do it. I also busted out a fresh loaf of white bread. So if you want to go full Nashville experience, what doesn't look good about that? A little sausage
This white
wrap.
bread looks really good.
Thank you. It overproofed a little bit because I asked Bones to turn the oven on and he just didn't. So got a little bit gigantic.
Foldy.
Nice. It's a good foldy right there.
Yeah, good bread. Bravo. We've done it again.
I'm not usually a bread and butter pickle kind of guy, but you know, for this, it's working.
I think on a hot chicken, it's like one of the only times I prefer it. Fried chicken in general, I think I like a sweet pickle. One of the only times.
But I'm not putting a sweet pickle on a burger anytime soon. Well, that's really tasty. Hopefully I don't feel it in the morning.
You will.
Yeah, probably. And with this very last bite of Nashville hot chicken sausage, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic Nashville hot chicken sausages. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, chicken sausage really deserves more love in the barbecue world because it's a perfect blank canvas for any flavor profile you're going for. They're not as heavy going down, and these were certainly some tasty links. And if you're looking for a really tasty sausage that has a good kick to it, I'd highly recommend this recipe. But if you're really looking to burn some butts, you can always up that cayenne even more. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.